A city doesn't just happen, it's imagined, fought for and built, one decision at a time. Most of us live in the spaces other people create. Dave Whitburn, he creates the spaces other people live in. While the market talks about problems, he's busy building solutions, shaping skylines, unlocking land, and turning paper plans into streets and communities. He doesn't just read the blueprint for New Zealand's future, he draws it. Today, we step into the mind of a man who believes this country can be more if we stop settling for average and start building it like we mean it.
Financial freedom faster. Financial freedom faster.
Now, winners move, losers wait. The Mortgage HQ Snapshot is where serious players go when they're done waiting and ready to strike. No fluff, no theory, just the raw insight behind thousands of Kiwis investors' wins. The description's below. Go and have a look right now. Now, Dave, how can RMA reform and AI-powered consenting speed up housing supply and make property more affordable in New Zealand?
It's really important to make sure that we cut to the chase. The Resource Management Act 1991 was well-intentioned in its design, but it just takes too long. It causes projects delays, uncertainties, costs with all the regulation to do it. It creates this vicious cycle where you have to have lots of consultants to interpret the rules, to cost you more money to do it, for council then to process and ask you more questions about to do it. So some consents that should really only take a couple of months can take a couple of years, and that's absolutely ridiculous. Large-scale infrastructure projects as well, they often take far too long to consent. Needing to rezone land as well, needing plan changes to do that can take seven-figure sums and 3 years of time. So we can really cut to the chase and make consenting a lot more efficient. The development approval process in Australia is so much quicker, particularly in the great state of Queensland as well. We can learn a lot from that, and it's about being a bit more efficient. We can still be good katiaki and mindful of the environment, but we just have to make sure that we don't skew it too far. We need to make it a lot leaner. So the RMA means lower project costs, means more certainty for projects to go ahead, be funded, and that will actually help with the supply of affordable housing.
Yeah, hopefully we get in a position we can err on the side of push and go rather than saying no.
Absolutely.
The infrastructure bottlenecks that we're currently facing, like Watercare in Auckland.
What a disgrace that is, right, Andrew? We've seen consents there, people applying for 12, get knocked back for 4. It doesn't mean that 4 get built. It means 0, because it's not going to be worth doing. We're seeing surge trucks in media just shipping sewer out from numerous locations. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. That's what third world countries do. We have a massive infrastructure problem there, and it's not just Auckland. We've got cities that are saying we don't have any more supply as well in the Wairarapa region as well. We've got issues with Wellington with its leaky pipes and things. There's been a multi-decade long lack of investment in critical drainage infrastructure. That also happens with roading, schools as well. So really got a huge problem on our hands.
So should it be nationalized? Should it be privatized? Should it be broken up? Should it be put together? Like, well, what is the solution with the likes of Watercare and other big companies that manage our infrastructure?
Exactly. The Watercare solution might well be to actually privatize it. That's one way of doing that. Potentially it might be a partial float. So say 50.1% is retained by Auckland Council, which currently owns 100% of Watercare Services Limited. It is already a company. It's a council-controlled organisation. That would probably be more politically palatable than selling all of it, but the council did have a report done, and that showed that as by one of the big 4 accounting firms, which suggested that that's a very viable option to do, and I think that should be possibly revisited. Otherwise, we didn't do the 3 waters in terms of the Healthy Waters program there from the previous government. Some of that was on ideological grounds. Some of the premises behind it were actually good. It just got filtered in with some other stuff that probably didn't need to happen. But the point is, we could have used the country's fantastic credit rating. I think we have a AAA credit rating in New Zealand. Very few countries in the world have that. So it's very easy for us to borrow money. We're very stable and have comparatively low debts to GDP ratios, even if we don't like them being as perceived as so high as they are. That would have been a way to put in the tens of billions of dollars for infrastructure funding as well. The infrastructure is not in place, and we've got to really focus on that, because without that, it's all very well having land rezoned for it, but if we don't have the infrastructure in place, what's the point there? That's why we have so many investors with these cannon fodder future urban zones when there's nothing going to happen. And since when have council hit their deadlines for doing this, they virtually always get delayed as well. So they go, likely resolution on Watercare website 2030 to 2035. Most people think it's a bit of a joke, but some pretty optimistic real estate agents and vendors, of course, it's
10-year land bank.
The absolute 10-year land bank there as well. It's a complete farce with that. We have to take this seriously. We've got to get the capital to put the infrastructure in.
New Zealand's problem in education, it's been in the media a lot lately. Are we doing enough to make sure that people that are graduating or coming into that university standard are ready for the AI game? And you got 3 kids in private schools.
Yes.
What is being done well, and what could be, where could we improve?
Yes, the one's doing IB, the other's doing the Cambridge syllabus, so no less on NCA. However, that won't matter because it's getting scrapped imminently with NCA for the level 11s, or for older viewers, that would be the equivalent of Form 5. And then the rebranding to certificates and advanced certificates for year 12 and 13, so and 7th form. That's probably a good move. Some of the schools, particularly in East Auckland and the North Shore and Tim O'Connor, Auckland, have been on record saying that the NCA is a very poor system. It's not delivering the outcomes. Many employers are saying that it's not fit for purpose. It had to change. Erica Stanford's an incredibly hard worker, and she really cares. Got children in the system too, and gifted communicator. She's going places. I agree that with many that she'll be future leader of the National Party and Prime Minister. So we're seeing a really talented politician doing some good things with education, and Labour Party have been a bit asleep at the wheel on that, not replying to emails, not communicating on that, and that's really disappointing. We really need a conversation cross-party to make sure that the changes now get put in. An example would be my daughter, bless her, has a teacher that's a bit older, gives a nice assignment to go and quote and analyse this book as well, so she doesn't read it, puts in a prompt to do a summary, and you can get an A+ for doing 2 minutes of work. It's a complete farce, and Mark, that I don't think that many teachers know exactly what's going to happen, but I personally don't want my kids taught by a robot or AI anyway, so it's just maybe we need to embrace the fact that it is there, it's having rapid growth, and we need to use it there. There are a lot of the courses, less so at school, more so at university, that are going to be problematic. Already having hundreds of people doing marine biology, which I actually did myself, so it's a cool course, but it has so many hundreds of graduates, you're not going to get jobs in it. My niece did it, smashed the course with A averages, having to go off to Tasmania, do a master's degree and get employment over there. Got to be mindful of the field set just because it's cool to do and lots of people do it. I don't want to poke holes, but that can apply in other things as well. My wife did anthropology there as well. It was great, but social anthropology does have a little bit of a limit in doing that. So we've got to be mindful about vocational training and also trades. Why are so many schools shutting down woodwork and metalwork? They're dangerous. You have to pay someone to do it for budgets. Let's get in there. A lot of lads and tradies want to do that as well. We need to get these open and pumping because our vocational trade training's not there. Robots don't have the fine motor skills as well. So we've got to be mindful that that's going to be something that's slower to develop. To do it, we might well be able to get some of the heavy-duty stuff done, but 3D printed houses are still expensive. They're not there, and we're still going to have finishing in that. And I think that the trades are far less susceptible to AI than those that are doing low-level jobs in law, in professional services, marketing, those assistant roles, and the entry-level creative roles as well. But absolutely, they're going to get a thrashing. There'll be some major disruption there. Our university system's not set up for that. It's a business. The business is to take money there from people and to collect the government subsidies from doing that. We need to have a serious conversation about how many kids we're funneling into tertiary education. Is it responsible for doing that? Are we just leading them down a rabbit hole and wasting their time? Quite honestly, we are in many cases. University, it needs to actually be there for a purpose rather than just to retain people, to give them some form of education that's funded by the taxes as well. If we were honest about this, we're wasting billions of dollars in our education system, and it leads to unproductive uses.
Yeah. And which sectors should New Zealand be prioritising for skilled immigration to boost the economy without
Technology,
overburdening it.
high technology as well. We're seeing some really great companies with things like success stories like Rocket Lab, just fantastic there. What Sir Peter Beck and his team have done to the Fisher and Paykel appliances is another great success story, doing so well in America and globally. Fisher and Paykel Healthcare, another amazing example too. The high-tech innovation that we can see is just brilliant. And these applied engineering technology jobs, they're well paid. These are absolutely fantastic, and we can encourage that. Whilst it's important to know that we've had a great a great past, we've had a great past in both dairying and also, I guess, beef as well. We need to be better than that. We need to look at the add value products that we can do from that. We can innovate and do far more. We can also look at tourism. We can actually make New Zealand fantastic and an even better tourism location. We are a little bit more remote from others, but let's use our very special natural advantages to really promote ourselves and get some more money in it. So, but I do think that we need that tech focus and that added value, that high end, the added value manufacturing process. I think would be a really, really good start.
And if we slash the corporate tax rate like Ireland, would it help attract in the international businesses without damaging the economy?
Currently, we're losing them because if the corporate tax rates is at 28% there, how competitive is that internationally? Well, it's slightly above or at the OECD average there. That's a bit of a mare. Why don't we get the corporate tax rate down? So John Key had actually promoted that in his first term. It didn't get his way through his own caucus, but I think that's a great way to do it. Have a service economy. It would be absolutely tremendous because then we'd like to see the businesses, one, not only leave to whether they delist and go to Australia or just move over to Australia, they'd stay here. It would probably stop more of the businesses staying micro or small in New Zealand. That's another bugbear of mine. I wish they'd actually stay and wait and focus hard to build up. We'd get payroll taxes from that. We'd get GST, goods and services tax from that as well. There'll be some that say, hey, the big banks make big four Aussie banks make 18% of the entire corporate tax take. Yeah, it's true, and it is increasing. So soon they'll get a quarter of the all tax rate there as well. It's okay because we have to realise that it's quite easy to do transfer pricing initiatives. You can hire people from Australia that work in New Zealand or overseas. You can pay for trademarks that are held overseas. You can pay consultants overseas. Money moves there as well. It's the land that's immovable, but there are a lot of transfer pricing strategies that it's just simply too hard for the New Zealand and revenue to do. So thoughts on doing that, how much does Meta or Facebook actually pay in tax, and those things that will come up. They're going to be the questions and don't. So let's just be honest, they would actually be happy to pay more. They just want to pay a lower rate. So maybe we just eat that frog and do that. It wasn't so long ago when Dr. Russell Norman from the Green Party also advocated for a lower corporate tax rate as well. The current Green Party perhaps isn't quite so aligned with that.
Chloe for Finance Minister, right?
That would be an unmitigated disaster. I think we'd see a lot of New Zealanders that really care about their future probably want to leave. Wouldn't have too many Jewish New Zealanders there for a start if they would not be imprisoned, is my fear.
Let's not go there now. So gas supplies in New Zealand is a big problem. It's declining. What renewable energy sources should New Zealand be investing in to secure a future?
Some of this is a bit of ideology as well. It's a little bit of a concern that I've got about how bad is actually natural gas as well. Perhaps we can look at some of the great work that we're doing on the carbon offsetting, some of the good companies there, the Roger Dickies of this world that are doing. There's some of the innovation coming in with using poplar trees instead of Pinus radiata and other trees with much faster 8-9 year lifetime for carbon sequestration, ditto with mangroves. Those are some of the innovative things that we're doing, and we are great at that ingenuity and innovation in New Zealand. So I don't think that's so bad to do that. We can look at some renewable energy projects. Hydro tends to be a bit better. Sometimes in summer there's a bit of a problem with, in winter there's a problem with solar because it is dark and cloudy. The days are shorter. It does tend to be expensive as well. The wind farms aren't everyone's cup of tea. Lots of submissions against them. They can be noisy. Disposal of the blades, it can be a bit of a concern.
New Zealand's culture seems to be complacent and average performance. How do we, comparing ourselves to Australia and America, for example, America is a country of winners. Australia is a country of win at all costs. New Zealand's not really known for that.
We probably are a little bit too nice, and that can come on the sporting field as well. It's a little bit of a shame that we've got this thing. It's tall poppy syndrome. When you want to stick your neck out from the crowd and I guess be that black sheep, it's just a terrible thing, and you shouldn't be knocked out. You should be celebrated for doing that. It's a dare to be different, and it's a horrible thing to knock those that are successful, because it's actually spiteful to do it. If it dare to be different, dare to succeed, to break out of the trap of being normal or being average, it's shocking. Being normal or average is actually really, really boring, and you should try to do what I do and associate great pain to do it. No one wants to go through life and have in the eulogy that, oh yeah, Dave, he was a good guy. Yeah, he did what he was told, and he was quite nice. Great, that's really exciting, but I don't want that. I want to do that David made a difference. David changed things. David did some great things. He put his neck out there, took some risks there, made some things happen, employed lots of people, got lots of properties there. You got stuff done. That's what you want to have people to say about you there. So too many people are too scared of making a mistake, and that's a really, really frightening thing. We need to really celebrate those that are out there taking a risk there. It doesn't always work out. That's why we are seeing the receiverships and liquidations increase. It's okay to do that there, but we just need to really have a culture of focusing on success and doing the best we can be. And I don't think we've got that in New Zealand right now. So that's what we can do. We can always blame the government. They should do this and that. Well, no, actually, yeah, they should, but they're just a vehicle. They're the one that provides the platform for us to go and succeed. So we actually have a lot of responsibility to raise our game, to fight to be the best that we can be, to provide for ourselves and our family and loved ones. So we've got to take that on board and not just blame the government. We've got to take action and build that wealth for ourselves and our whānau.
Yeah. And if we look collectively, our infrastructure is really holding us back.
Yeah.
What strategies can the government look at, or councils, or even normal people look at for infrastructure investment?
Infrastructure is a really, really big bugbear. It's a big problem. It costs a lot of money to do. But guess what? There is a lot of money. People want to invest in a AAA credit-rated country, a country that has quite low debt to gross domestic product as well. Infrastructure bonds, why not do that? Attract some capital from abroad. That would be a really, really exciting thing. We have huge pools of money in the likes of the New Zealand Superannuation Fund, ACC, and many, private office, family office clients to do it there. Otherwise, sovereign wealth funds would put in for quality infrastructure. There's no excuses for not doing this. Our four-laning from Auckland to Whangarei, that could have been funded and happened already. It takes up a big portion of it. No problems. Let's go do it. Let's raise some funds for it, get it done. It's not that hard to do. There's always a case for it if the asset's not prudent to do, like the inter-islander ferries. Well, is it appropriate that's owned by the government? If it's not appropriate, divest it.
Yeah, I saw the roadmap for long-term infrastructure projects in New Zealand is basically the next couple of years, there's a few projects, and then there's this massive dip.
Yeah.
The long-term infrastructure project planning in New Zealand is just not there.
And how is the long-term planning in New Zealand full stop? Like the Auckland Harbour Bridge in 1961. Wow, we built it 4 lanes wide. And do you think it was easily foreseeable that we're going to have quite a few people move over to the North Shore? So what do they have to do? 7-8 years later? Clip on 2 more lanes. Clip on another 2 lanes there. So we've got 8 lanes there. Not much forwards there. And now what's the problem now? And yes, you wind the clock forward. It's at getting near capacity. It's costing a lot of money to keep welding. It's a constant thing that if you know about that pretty much every day, it needs work done on it. We're talking about other options there. It's really expensive to build another bridge or to do an underground tunnel for that. And even worse, the City Rail Link tunnels, the big boring machines have been shipped overseas. We sort of missed a trick on that. That might have been able to go through the Brinduran Hills to create some tunnels. Pretty quick smart wash is still there in the country, or bored underneath the harbour to do that. But no, I have to do that and have 10, 20 years of consultation to think about it and see if Auckland's population's at 2.5 or 2.7 million to see if we've got a needs for it there. There's a complete lack of planning and foresight, and that's a big issue there. And I think that some of that also comes down to the electoral term. It's too short at 3 years. It encourages short-termist thinking, and that's dangerous. In terms of the election cycles, I think that we really need to take a serious look at bumping it up to a 4, if not 5-year term. That I think will help discourage the short-termism that we see in New Zealand politics, and we've got to take that big, hairy, audacious thing out there and get infrastructure done.
Should the LVR and DTI rules be adjusted to support more like build-to-rent projects, and how can we make those adjustments, protecting the banks but allowing for more capital to flow?
Yeah, some minor adjustments can be done to these. The debt-to-income rules are tough on investors in particular, but they can also knock back first-time owners as well. These ones can be used as dangerous tools sometimes, because potentially they got the screws just came off in 2021, and unfortunately with them off, the prices, they went too far, and then the screws were too tight coming back out of that, particularly in 2023. So it's balance. There needs to be better balancing of the settings as well. So I disagreed with how the previous Reserve Bank governor did that, as many do, particularly on this channel.
Dave Whitburn, appreciate your insights today. It's a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before we go, you don't need another pep talk. You're not a toddler learning to walk. You're an adult trying to buy a property in a country where a garden shed costs more than your first marriage. What you need is ammunition. Moves that actually work. Tactics that don't require a seminar, a vision board, or a motivational playlist. The 3 property formula is the book. It's what smart Kiwis are using right now, while the rest of us are still doom scrolling Trade Me and blaming interest rates. No fluff, no webinars, no guru whispering at you in soft lighting, just hard, sharp insight into strategies from people who actually buy property, not just talk about it on LinkedIn. Get the strategy, own the edge, or keep waiting for Adrian Orr to come and save you. Spoiler, he's not. So grab the book. Follow the link in the description below.